Chapter 11. Mistakes to Avoid. We all want the best for our children, but sometimes our good intentions can lead to results directly opposite to what we desire. On this path, there are certain mistakes it's crucial to avoid so as not to stifle the very qualities we aim to develop in our children: confidence, initiative, and the ability to cope with challenges. In this chapter, we'll discuss common parenting mistakes that can negatively impact a child's development. We'll explore how excessive criticism can undermine self-confidence, why unrealistic expectations destroy trust, and how to react correctly to setbacks so that a child learns rather than gives up. Understanding these points will help you build a more effective and supportive parenting strategy. The peril of excessive criticism. No one wants to harm their child. Yet, in trying to help them improve, we sometimes cross a line and start to criticize them too much. Excessive criticism is more than just observations. It's a constant highlighting of flaws, mistakes, and imperfections, often delivered harshly, without enough emphasis on achievements or positive aspects. Such behavior can not only stifle a child's confidence, but also permanently alter their self-perception and view of the world. How criticism can undermine a child's confidence. Fear of mistakes. When a child frequently hears criticism, they begin to associate all their actions with potential negative outcomes. This leads to a fear of trying new things, taking risks, and showing initiative to avoid reproach. They prefer inaction just to avoid making a mistake. Lowered self-esteem. Constant negative evaluations convince the child of their inadequacy or incompetence. They start to believe they are not good enough, clumsy, or stupid, which directly impacts their self-esteem and desire to develop. Internal insecurity. Instead of relying on their inner sense of right, the child begins to seek external approval. They become dependent on others' opinions, and their confidence forms not on their own achievements, but on the absence of criticism. Loss of motivation. If a child's efforts are constantly devalued or criticized, they lose interest in activities. Why bother trying if the result will be criticized anyway? This is particularly dangerous for the development of leadership qualities, which require internal motivation and a drive for excellence. Breach of trust. Constant criticism, especially if perceived as unfair, destroys trust between the child and parent. The child may become withdrawn, stop sharing their thoughts, feelings, and problems, fearing a new wave of negativity. Development of perfectionism or apathy. Some children, when faced with excessive criticism, become extreme perfectionists, trying to avoid any mistake. Others, conversely, fall into apathy, completely losing interest and becoming passive because they believe their efforts will not be appreciated anyway. It's important to understand the difference. Criticism usually focuses on the child's personality. "You're clumsy" is general in nature. "You always mess everything up," and is often accompanied by negative emotions. Constructive feedback, on the other hand, focuses on the action, not the person. This drawing is a bit messy. Instead of "you draw badly," is specific and objective. "You forgot to put your notebook in your backpack," instead of "you're irresponsible." Offers ways for improvement. Let's think about how you can tie your shoelaces differently so they don't come undone. Instead of "you can never tie your shoelaces correctly," is accompanied by support. "I know you can handle this. Let's try together," instead of "you'll never succeed." Practical steps. How to avoid excessive criticism. Practice the 5-to-1 rule. For every critical remark, there should be 5 praises or positive comments. This helps create balance and maintain the child's positive self-perception. Pause before reacting. Before making a remark, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, will my comment right now help or harm? Focus on effort and progress. Praise your child for their efforts, even if the result isn't perfect. "I see how hard you tried to build that structure. Your effort is very important." Use I statements. Instead of "you upset me," say, I feel upset when I see the toys aren't put away because I want the room to be tidy. This reduces the accusatory tone and focuses attention on your feelings and needs. Involve them in problem solving. Instead of criticizing a mistake, ask, "What happened? How can we fix this? What can we learn from this situation?" Be an example of self-criticism. Show that you can admit your own mistakes and learn from them. Distinguish between the mistake and the behavior. It's important to criticize the action, not the person. A child might make a mistake, but that doesn't make them bad. They just made a wrong choice in that moment. Remember, your goal is to raise a confident and independent person, not someone who fears every step. Criticism should only be in the form of constructive feedback that is aimed at learning and growth, not suppression. The danger of unrealistic expectations. Every parent dreams of their child being successful, happy, and achieving their goals. This is a natural desire. However, sometimes these dreams and ambitions can transform into unrealistic expectations that place a heavy burden on a child's shoulders. Unrealistic expectations are when we demand things from a child that don't align with their age, abilities, or individual characteristics, or when we project our unfulfilled dreams onto them. How unrealistic expectations destroy trust. Constant feeling of inadequacy. A child who constantly fails to meet parents' inflated expectations begins to feel inadequate and not good enough. This leads to a chronic sense of guilt and shame. Decreased motivation. If a child understands that no matter how hard they try, they still won't meet their parents' demands, they lose all motivation. Why put in effort if the result will always be not good enough? Destruction of trust and openness. The child begins to hide their failures, problems, or difficulties, fearing their parents' reaction. They stop sharing, afraid of disappointing or being judged. This creates a barrier in the relationship and destroys the emotional connection. Development of anxiety and depression. Constant pressure and the fear of not meeting expectations can lead to serious psychological problems, such as anxiety disorders, panic attacks, and depression. Signs of unrealistic expectations. You constantly compare your child to other children, classmates, siblings, friends' children. You overreact to low grades or setbacks, even if they happen infrequently. You demand perfection in everything from your child. Excellent grades, victories in sports, success in creative pursuits. You don't allow your child to quit an activity they dislike if you've invested a lot of money or time into it. You frequently use phrases like, "You must be the best," "You have no right to make mistakes," "You are obligated to live up to our hopes." You don't consider your child's individual characteristics, their temperament, abilities, and interests. How to form healthy expectations. Study your child's strengths and weaknesses, their temperament, interests, and abilities. Talk to them about their dreams and goals. Expectations should be based on their individuality, not on your perceptions. Focus on progress, not perfection. Value their successes, even small ones. Celebrate every improvement, not just the ideal result. Last time you struggled with this task and now you've done better. That's excellent progress. Encourage diversity. Don't force your child to be the best at everything. Let them choose what they're interested in. Perhaps they won't excel at math, but will be an outstanding artist. Teach goal setting. Help your child set their own realistic goals. Let these be small, achievable tasks that they chose themselves. This will give them a sense of control and responsibility for their path. Separate your dreams from their dreams. Let go of your unfulfilled ambitions. Your dreams are yours. Support your child in their aspirations, even if they don't align with yours. Be prepared for setbacks. Explain to your child that setbacks are part of the path to success. Support them when things don't work out and help them draw conclusions. Your reaction to their failures is far more important than the failures themselves. Demonstrate unconditional love. Remember that your love should not depend on their successes. Love them simply for who they are. This will give them internal confidence and freedom to grow. Healthy expectations are those that inspire, not suppress. They are based on understanding, respect, and unconditional support, allowing the child to grow at their own pace and unlock their unique potential. Reacting to setbacks. Building resilience through experience. Life is full of challenges, and setbacks are an inevitable part of everyone's journey. How a child learns to react to mistakes and defeats determines their future resilience, self-confidence, and capacity for growth. Your reaction as a parent in these moments is immensely important. It can either strengthen their spirit or permanently undermine their self-belief. How to react correctly to setbacks. Stay calm. Your calm reaction is the first and most important thing your child should see. Acknowledge their feelings. Your child might be sad, hurt, or ashamed. Say, "I see you're very upset that you lost the game." It's normal to feel sad when things don't go your way. This helps them understand that their feelings are normal and they're not alone. Focus on facts, not emotions. Once emotions subside, move to analysis. What happened? What steps did you take? What do you think could have been done differently? Avoid "why did you do that?" This question often sounds like an accusation. Teach them to learn from it. What can we take from this? What lesson did you learn? Help them see that every setback contains valuable information for the future. Emphasize effort and resilience. I'm proud of how you didn't give up, even when it was very difficult. Your effort is more valuable than the result. Or, you lost, but you fought fairly until the end, and that's what matters. Remind them of past successes. Remember how last time you couldn't ride your bike, but you kept trying and you did it? You can handle this too. This strengthens their belief in their own abilities. Be an example. Talk about your own failures, how you dealt with them, and what you learned. This brings you closer to your child and shows that mistakes are a part of everyone's life. Your calm, supportive reaction to your child's setbacks is one of the most powerful tools for raising a confident, resilient, and capable leader. Remember, the goal isn't to shield your child from all falls, but to teach them to get back up after each one, becoming stronger,